Oh no. Oh. Relax, it's me. I'm here. Nobody panic. Hey guys, we're gonna talk about some Frankenstein stuff today, and that was probably the only time that I have to break out that mask on camera and thus write it off as a business expense. Hello, my name is Kier Gomes, and you're watching the JoBlo Movie Show. What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for being here. Sorry for my silly little intro. But I did purchase that mask and I would like to write it off. So now you're stuck with it. How's everyone doing? Happy Thursday. I almost said happy Friday a couple of times already. Looks like we got some of the regular homies here in the chat. Thank you guys for being here. Hip hop legend, Kiki, Cowboy, Azo, Liam. Thank you guys all so much for being here. Appreciate it. The real Mr. Nixon. Hello. Thank you for being here. Let me give you guys one of these. You know how we do it here.
Hello there.
Hello there. Yes, it was me, Boris Karloff, in the flesh. This is actually, I love this mask. It's a very quality mask. It is kind of hard to, like, breathe and see, but it's made by Trick or Treat Studios, and they're kind of known for their photo accuracy. I also have a Bride of Frankenstein. I got Boris all over the office here. I even have him right here. There he is. Hello. Like and subscribe. So guys, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff tonight, and mainly it is going to be regarding some rumors, okay, that have been popping up as we get closer and closer to Spider-Man time. Now, for those of you that follow this kind of stuff, look, I get it. The MCU has not been the same in a long time, and I'm one of the first to say that I have been checked out of the overall franchise for quite some time. But I cannot help but get excited when Spider-Man stuff is coming my way, you know? The last Spider-Man thing that we got, which was the animated series, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney+. If you guys remember, I reviewed that here on this show, and I liked it. I was a big fan, so. All right. I guess let's start by... we're going to get to the Spider-Man stuff, but I'm going to save it because I have a lot to say about it. Let's get to some more general topics first. I think that's better. Okay, got my screen share up. Of course, right after I say we're going to get to this stuff later, the first thing that comes up. Well, let's talk about this instead because, one, it ties better to the intro, but two, this I'm really looking forward to, and it kind of bums me out that we're not doing this week's show on a Saturday because I would love to watch this and react to it live with you guys. But, man, this is exciting. So, for those of you that didn't know this, Guillermo del Toro, one of the great filmmakers of modern day, absolute legend, is finally making a Frankenstein film. And I want to tell you guys why this is so important. Oh, let me pull myself up on the screen so you guys can look at me while I talk. How's that? Better for everyone? Let's wake up the show a little bit here, guys. Okay, you guys paying attention now? Steve? If there's somebody named Steve watching this, I got you. Okay, so yeah, Guillermo del Toro, easily one of my favorite filmmakers. Hip Hop Legend saying is the GOAT. I agree. For those of you that aren't familiar, Guillermo del Toro made Pan's Labyrinth, fantastic film. He made the recent Netflix Pinocchio stop motion film, a masterpiece in and of itself. He made The Shape of Water, Nightmare Alley, which I think is probably the most underrated Guillermo del Toro movie ever. It's probably one of my favorite of his, and nobody talks about that movie. But I love Guillermo del Toro, and one of his lifelong dreams. I've watched almost every interview this guy has done on the internet. I swear to God, over the years, I've probably seen it all. And one thing that he always talks about, I saw this really great interview with him and Mike Flanagan, another legend filmmaker. And he was saying that his dream project would be to directly adapt Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. And there's so many Frankenstein movies out there. So this is one of those characters where this isn't going to ring like, a Sherlock Holmes movie or something where it's like, you don't see that much media about the character. So when something new is coming out, everybody's ears perk up. Frankenstein, like there's kind of a steady flow of this type of stuff or adaptations or spins on the original works. But Guillermo del Toro's version, this already to me, and maybe hopefully somebody in the chat can validate this so that I know I'm not the only one. This looks to be, to me, a definitive adaptation of the Mary Shelley novel. And that is very exciting, right? So I think, let's get back to me here. I think this is exciting. There's a trailer coming out for this movie on Saturday. Now, again, trailers, some people watch them, some people don't. We actually talked about this on the show last week with Mike Conway as our guest, where, like, if you're super interested in a movie, it sometimes makes sense to not watch the trailer or to, like, not engage with the promo material because you kind of want to go in fresh and have the work itself be the first thing that you see. And I do agree with that. I think, like, that's kind of how I went into Sinners like that most recently. But there are movies where, like, I'll just avoid the marketing and go in fresh. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that here because I'm too excited. I honestly don't think that I can wait until the movie comes out for me to know anything about it. I have to watch this trailer. Now, mind you, this is going to be the first trailer. It might be more of a teaser. It might not be, it might not be the most indulgent piece of the marketing, but that's all still to come. So I'm just so excited. But let's look. We have a quote here from Guillermo. I call him Guillermo because he's a fan of JoBlo. If you guys didn't know that, we used to do it on the live stream. We used to put like a little ticker at the bottom of some of our favorite actors and filmmakers who have given us quotes on what they think of us at JoBlo. And Guillermo del Toro, ever since the making of Blade 2, one of his greatest films, has been a fan. Capo Murda says, no, don't watch it. I might have to watch it, though, man. I don't know. Yeah, the Long Walk trailer was sick. That was a Cowboy and Hip Hop Legend are talking about the trailer for The Long Walk. Did we watch? I think we watched that on a live stream a couple weeks ago. It looks like a really, really cool movie, and new Stephen King stuff always gets me excited. Let's take a look at this quote from Guillermo here. I'm not going to do the accent because his voice is too majestic and beautiful, but I am going to try to capture his essence. This film has been on my mind since I was a child. I've been trying to make it for 20 or 25 years. Some people may even think I'm a little obsessed with Frankenstein. Probably would be right. Over the decades, the character has fused with my soul in a way that has become an autobiography. It doesn't get more personal than this. Dude, I mean, when I say this could be the definitive Frankenstein, this could be it, Now, they're going to be revealing this at the live Netflix event called Tudum. I wish I had the Netflix sound on my soundboard here. I'd play it. Yeah, so they're going to be, this is going to be premiering as some Netflix whatever. I'm just going to wait for it to hit YouTube so I can watch it, where I want to watch it, and just the trailer. I don't have to wait for all that other shit to happen. But man, this is going to, I think I mean this when I say my Saturday will probably in some ways revolve around this trailer because before it comes out, I want to make sure I see it when it comes out, right? Like when it comes out, I want to make sure I see it. I don't need to like rush to it and see it right away, but I would like to. So in that sense, I'm probably not going to watch Tudum. I have been seeing that advertised on Netflix every time I try to watch the new season of Married at First Sight. I see the poster for Tudum, which I think is supposed to be Tudum. But you guys better believe next week on the live stream, at that point, the trailer will be old news, but we're still going to talk about it next show because this is a movie I am excited for. I can't wait. Frankenstein has also fused with my soul and most recently my head. This was on me earlier, so I'm excited. I can't wait. Now, but let me tell you guys part of kind of like why this excites me so much. Guillermo del Toro, like I said, is one of my favorite filmmakers. I admire him in so many ways, and I love everything I've ever seen from him. I mean, truthfully, maybe not Mimic, which I think was his first movie, and Mimic is not a great movie, okay? But everything else he's made is. And so anyway, when he says he's been working on this movie or trying to get this movie made for over 20 years, 20 to 25 years. And it doesn't get more personal than this. I mean, this is, in my opinion, this is going to be Guillermo del Toro's seminal work, potentially his life's work going into this one film. And it happens to be a character that all of us know and love and would like to see done properly, you know? If you can't have Karloff, which you can't, you know, then let Guillermo del Toro direct it, and then whatever his vision is will hopefully be accurate to it. It's his favorite book. And yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to this in a lot of ways. I think it's going to be kind of like my I don't know, my highly anticipated masterpiece of the year. You know, like last year it was probably like Nosferatu was like from the director, you know, that I was, you know, like Robert Eggers was kind of somebody where like I look forward to his movies. If there's a new Jordan Peele movie or a Guillermo del Toro movie, this will probably be one of those like tentpole movies this year. I don't know. I'm thinking I'll probably go see it like, you know, like a Thursday premiere after one of these shows, but I'm kind of thinking too, I might wait until the weekend so I can see it with like a big audience. That would be nice. Dungeon Crawler, dumb question, is Universal Studios involved in this? That is not a dumb question because I don't think they are, but I also am not 100% sure. I don't believe that Universal is involved in this movie though. I'm pretty sure they're not. But I mean, you know, I don't know. So if you're asking because it might be like connected to a larger universe, I don't think it's anything like that. I don't think Guillermo del Toro has the slightest interest in this being a dark universe picture. I think he just wants to make a great Frankenstein movie, and by good golly goddamn, I am excited for that. Okay. Yeah, some of you are agreeing that Mimic is not good. I see Capo Murda, yeah, or the real Mr. Nixon. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Mimic, but I also like, I mean, like I said, I think that's like Del Toro's like first feature film, and none of those movies are really very good. I don't know. I've heard that there was like, I think he said in an interview that he doesn't like that movie either because of the level of creative liberties he wasn't allowed to take. I don't know. I'm not making excuses for him, but if I had to, I would, because I love him. Okay. I want to see him do like a Hot Ones interview. Don't you guys want to see Guillermo del Toro do a Hot Ones interview? That would be nice. So if any of you work at Hot Ones, make that happen, please. Let's keep it going with the news though, my dudes. Oh, there's my screensaver again. Trees. Nice. So yeah, I'm really excited for Frankenstein. I think it's going to be good. I know it's going to be good. I'm hoping it's going to be great. You know? Like Eggers doing Nosferatu, that felt personal and that felt like a big thing because it was Robert Eggers doing like a, you know, an IP sort of. And this is kind of that same thing, right? Guillermo del Toro, though, has done IP films. He made the first two Hellboy movies, which... That first Hellboy movie with Ron Perlman, y'all, before we get back to the news, can we appreciate Hellboy, the very first Hellboy movie with Ron Perlman, Selma Blair? Man, that movie's so good. I haven't seen it in a couple years. It is one that I watch semi-often, though. And it's weird. It's like one of those things where the first one is harder to find on streaming than the Golden Army, which is still okay, but not as good as the first movie. That first Hellboy movie is, I mean, bar none, one of the great Guillermo del Toro movies and one of the great comic book movies, man. I fucking love it. And I love Ron Perlman. Okay. We are going to move on though. Otherwise I could do a whole hour on Guillermo del Toro. Would you guys want to see that? Let me know. Okay, next. Now, I haven't seen this yet. I haven't gone to see Bring Her Back yet, which I know. Anybody who knows me knows I was a huge fan of Talk to Me. I thought that movie was absolutely fabulous. And the directors of that film have their new feature film, an original movie called Bring Her Back. Which I believe is out now. I'm quite sure it is. And I, like I said, have not seen it. So if it is out, I'm going to go see it this weekend, no doubt. But what I thought was interesting is that the reviews for this movie have been good, which I guess we all expected. But I've been hearing that they've also been a little bit divisive. That some people, the level of weird that this movie goes to is not for them. And that makes me more excited. I kind of love when this happens. This is why I wanted to bring this up on the show. I kind of love when a movie comes out that you think is going to be good and that everybody kind of accepts will probably be of a certain quality because whatever. In this case, the directors made a really good movie a couple years ago. And then it comes out and you hear the first round of people, the first wave of people either love it or hate it. But I like when it goes, the first round of people love it, right? Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Because that's kind of what you expect, right? The movie's coming out. Pre-screenings are happening. Pre-screenings are usually good because, you know, you get to see the movie early. You want to say nice things. You've been invited and kind of sometimes in some cases personally invited to these things by people that are marketing it. It makes sense. But then you get that second wave where some people are like, oh, I don't like this movie. And then that third wave, which is usually around the time the movie actually comes out, there's people going, oh man, you either love it or hate it, but I think it's amazing. Or you love it or hate it, but I didn't get it. And I love that because it means that for me, no review, like if this movie came out, everybody said it was a winner. The bar's set high. I know it's going to get good. There's no anticipation for what am I going to get when I go see the movie. I know it's going to be good. Everyone says it's so good. But when trusted sources, you know, some people are like, it wasn't for me. So, you know, something about it or certain pieces of it wasn't for me, which I have heard. And then you hear other people going, it's great. This is the movie of the year, which seems to be the most popular opinion. That gives me something to chew on when I go to the movies and go, I wonder what elements of this are going to be divisive. Or I wonder, like, it just makes me care so much more going into the experience when there's a little bit of that mystery of, am I going to enjoy this or am I going to be one of the people that didn't? You know, am I going to be one of those people that likes cilantro or somebody who thinks it tastes like soap? That's a real thing, I heard. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the movie either way. I hope I don't land on the side of the spectrum of people that didn't fucks with this movie because I want to fucks with this movie. You know what I mean? Let's get some of your guys' opinions. Let's see. What are you guys saying out here in the comments? Let's scroll up a little bit. Was Hellboy 2007? For some reason, like 2005 is like what sticks in my mind. I don't know why. Azo, the homie. Enormous fan of the classic Universal monster films. Me too. Mostly the Frankenstein stuff, which I not for any reason other than that's the stuff I'm the most familiar with. But who doesn't love a little Bela Lugosi? You know, Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon. The Universal monster movies are undeniably good. You know, they are, especially if you're a film person. Like, it's funny because I'm one of those people where I think in most scenarios, I prefer older types of media. Like I read older comics. I prefer older movies, you know, and by older, I just mean like, you know, I don't know. I just mean like media from before whenever I was born, you know, I like stuff like that. And, so I like the Universal monster movies and it wasn't hard for me to get into that, you know, but I know many people that have watched them that maybe don't like appreciate them or can't really, I don't know, like maybe can't appreciate them. But I'm glad I'm one of those people where older media doesn't turn me off because for some people it is a barrier or it makes certain things like challenging to get into. And I'm not judging that. Like my wife is like this, like certain things are so dated that like the aesthetic of something, if it's dated enough, can be a distraction from the story, which I also get. There are, I mean, you know, I'm just happy I'm not one of those people. You know what I mean? I could watch a deep fried like Betamax movie on one of those giant Zenith TVs and I'd be okay. Yeah, Ron Perlman is Hellboy. I think he would still do it too. I know he's talked about it. Like Perlman has said, just while we're on the topic of Hellboy, right? He has said that he'd be down to do another Hellboy with Guillermo del Toro. I would love to see that happen, but I don't think it will. I also think if you guys, I don't know if we talked about this on a show yet, but I finally watched Hellboy the Crooked Man. I don't know if I talked about it already on a live, so I don't want to rehash it, but that movie fucking sucked. I kind of thought like I thought it would be okay, like for me, because again, I was like, it's a low budget movie. That doesn't turn me off, you know. there's other elements about low budget movies that might turn me off, but some movies utilize a low budget really effectively. Now, Hellboy being this particular one, if you guys don't know, there was a movie called Hellboy Crooked Man. And it was like a horror movie, and it came out a few years ago. And this story, though, it's a horror sci-fi movie on a very tight budget. So for the most part, everything that we got in the movie looked like it was outside, like it was like out of its league. It looked like the budget couldn't possibly provide what the movie needed. So that was a huge distracting piece of it. Couple that with things like the guy who played Hellboy being kind of like a regular sized dude, having a regular voice. You know, he straight up, it looked like cosplay. And I hate saying that because, like, no shade to the filmmakers. It's just the movie was trash. So I don't know if I'm rehashing something I've already said on the show, but now you know. Hellboy, goated. Yes, yes, yes. What else are you guys saying out here? Ron Perlman is a legend. I agree. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, in terms of Bring Her Back, what we're talking about now, Bring Her Back. Human Centipede weird. I don't know. I'm hearing from some people that that there's some stuff in this movie that just completely crosses a threshold of taboo, you know? Ryan Guerrera says, yeah, I hear this movie split with, yeah, same. Dungeon Crawler Jesse, welcome back, man. Hello there. That one's for you. Sounds like Color Out of Space. That movie was wild. Color Out of Space is pretty okay movie to me. I love Nicolas Cage. That's like part of it. I think Lovecraft is cool. Like, I like, you know what it is with me and Lovecraft? I like the H.P. Lovecraft aesthetic. I like the look of those like giant, like, you know, tendrils of monsters, and kind of has like a, you know, like a, I don't know, like a gothic Stranger Things type feel to some of this like Lovecraftian material. But I think sometimes too, like, it is a little bit cerebral. So like for Color Out of Space, that movie, I watched it, and I think I watched it, you know, completely focused, zoned in on it. And I think halfway through the movie is where I realized, oh, this is probably one of those movies where you smoke a little joint and you kind of zone out and just vibe with the movie. And you just kind of go with it, you know? And I love movies like that. Many of you guys who know me or watch my videos, some of my favorite movies are weird, strange pieces of art that you just watch when you're high at 2 a.m. You know, I have found some of my favorite films that way. Oh yeah, dude. Hip hop legend, Monster Squad. Who doesn't love the Monster Squad, dude? Wolfman's got nards. I loves it, dude. All right. Yeah, so it looks like some of you guys are also excited for Bring Her Back. You know, I'm gonna this is one of those ones where I'm gonna kind of just go see it when it comes out and not talk to anybody about it until I've seen it, so that way I don't have any of like my friends planting seeds. I just want to see, am I a person that this appeals to or not? And I don't know shit about it, so I want to keep it that way for sure. All right, let's keep it going with the news. I'm liking it. Okay, well, okay, on the topic of early reviews for new movies, where is it? Let's that is the death rattle. That is the death tap for, unfortunately, one of the longest running franchises in movies, and that is The Karate Kid. Okay, a movie that came out more than 40 years ago. Okay, still going today, strong. Cobra Kai just finished like this year, right? And they released a movie that we all forgot was coming out. Did you guys forget? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I forgot this movie was coming out, which is crazy. It's Karate Kid. What's going on? The marketing for this movie has not been good, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I want to know, for those of you that have not seen this yet, or even actually for those of you that have seen it, what was or is your level of excitement to see this movie? I saw the trailer and I loved it. I thought the trailer looked nice, clean, looked like a solid Karate Kid movie, like a reboot within continuity. And I thought that was cool. I was like, it worked for Cobra Kai to kind of reboot things in continuity, and that's cool with me. And then the early reviews start coming out, man, and it's, you start hearing that this movie sucks. I've been hearing people say that it's the worst Legacy sequel. Obviously, that can't be true as long as, like, Halloween Kills exists, right? Like, it can't. As long as Halloween Ends. No, Halloween Kills they're both bad. But I don't know which one's my least favorite. But there's, definitely there has to be worse Legacy sequels is the whole point I'm trying to make, okay? And I don't know, but supposedly this movie leaves not just a lot to be desired, it kind of taints a little bit of the Karate Kid for people I know, for many people reviewing this movie right now. This is another one. I haven't seen it. I haven't had time, but also a big part of it, I just really forgot that this movie was coming out, Had it not been for us trying to time our Karate Kid, the original one, we just did a video about it. Had it not been for us trying to time that around the time that this movie came out, I would have forgotten months ago about this movie because they just didn't really do a push for it. They released like some stuff, like a few like featurettes, small featurettes, and like 2 trailers, kind of the tease and then the extended one. And supposedly there's like a whole plot line of this movie not in the trailer, which also sounded awesome to me. I was like, that's great. I love when movies don't tell you everything in the trailer. But supposedly that wasn't enough. And I'm hearing that this movie was not good. We do have a review for it if you guys want to watch it. I'm trying to avoid any spoilers or direct reviews until I've seen it myself. But this is one where, like, this weekend, if it came down to Bring Her Back or Karate Kid, I'm going to go see Bring Her Back. I'd rather take that gamble. This movie, it's kind of what I was talking about before. This is one that it seems like everybody doesn't like. And if that's the case, then maybe I can wait. I don't know. I'm kind of like that now with Ghostbusters as well. One of my I have the VHS of the original Ghostbusters right there. And that movie came out the same year as Karate Kid, if I'm not mistaken. One of the best. Also a franchise still going today, but that's one too where, like, now for the new Ghostbusters stuff, I didn't like Frozen Empire that much. I thought it was okay, but like I didn't like it the way that I like Ghostbusters or even Afterlife or even Ghostbusters 2. So I think from now on, like any new Ghostbusters stuff, I think I'll just wait. I'll wait until I can stream it at home. I don't know if I need to go to the theater, for Sony Legacy sequels anymore. They can't get a hold of their Spider-Man spinoff universe. They're not killing it with Karate Kid. They're not killing it with Ghostbusters. So I think maybe now I'm going to put them in timeout and not go see their theatrical sequels until I'm good and ready, until I'm damn sure I can. Hip Hop Legend. I'm excited for the Netflix Ghostbusters show. Me too. It's the animated show. Yeah. I'm excited for that too. I like that there's kind of been this, You blew it! I kind of like that there's been this renaissance of bringing stuff back, but instead of doing movies, just doing cartoons or animation. I like that more, I like that we're getting a theatrical animated Predator movie. I like that. That's good for I enjoy the idea of this beloved franchise. And there's great Predator movies. There is great ones. Predator is a great Predator movie. Prey is a great Predator movie. There's other ones, but I like that they're like, let's just do an animated one. That way we can get weird. That way we can get, do fresh things. I like that there was a Lord of the Rings anime, which I did not like at all, but I like that it exists. The fact that it's there, I respect that. Even though to me, seriously, this was me by the end of Lord of the Rings, the anime. But it all was bullshit. It was a goddamn joke. Yeah, that was kind of, that was the mood that the anime put me in, the Lord of the Rings anime. But I could say it's actually a very similar feeling to how I felt watching the Hobbit trilogy, which I was also not a fan of. So you know. No shade, but the all-female Ghostbusters wasn't good. The movie, yeah, the movie was, I mean, the movie wasn't great. I will say this, I don't hate that movie as much as everybody else. I hate it as a Ghostbusters movie for sure. I think it's a very bad Ghostbusters movie, but like the special effects are good. Uh, Leslie Jones is great. I actually saw her once at the Portland airport and just kind of gave her one of these. And she just gave me one of these. But I did. I saw Leslie Jones at the Portland airport last year. And I don't know. I don't think that movie is as bad as everybody thinks. I just think that like trying to make that the reboot of Ghostbusters, that was really the mistake. If it had just been something else and they had no brand affiliation with Ghostbusters, I think that movie would have been okay. I think there's like people that would have been like, it was a serviceable comedy action movie. You know, it wasn't like offensively bad. It was just kind of dumb, you know? Whoa, Nails. This is an interesting. I never really thought about this. Animated Lord of the Rings, was a grab to maintain rights. I don't know if that's true. Obviously, we can only speculate. If that is true, though, that's interesting because maybe it was because it's kind of coming out at the perfect time, right? Had some distance from the Hobbit movies. Maybe the rights were getting ready to reset. They come out with this little animated thing to buy them enough time to get Andy Serkis to direct the Gollum movie, which is coming out in 2 years or something like that. Maybe. That's a good point, Nails. I don't know. Maybe. Prince Caspian. Hello, my friend. I've been seeing your comments here, so let's take a look at one. Sorry if I've been not getting to everybody's. I apologize.
Hello there.
I'll see Lilo and Stitch, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, and bring her back before I see the new Karate Kid. Yeah, maybe, yeah, same, actually. Final Reckoning, definitely. I mean, I can speak to this. I would rather watch any of the Mission Impossible movies than a legacy sequel to Karate Kid at this point, at this juncture, because I had Cobra Kai, and Cobra Kai towards the end there got very silly, but it gave me a satisfying wrap up to the whole franchise. They incorporated literally everybody from everything. The only person that didn't, I don't think, the only person that didn't come back was like Hilary Swank or whoever played the next Karate Kid, right? Everybody else was there. So yeah, I would rather Lilo and Stitch. You know what's funny? I'm hearing a lot of good things about Lilo and Stitch, but I'm also hearing a lot of people hate that movie. I haven't seen it yet. That one I'm gonna wait till it comes on Disney Plus, honestly, just because like I don't know. I don't have kids. I'm not like particularly like the hugest fan. I like the animated movie a lot, but it came out when I was like, I don't know, like I think it came out at a time where like I was already set in my ways of what Disney movies I liked, you know? And of the newer fare, I would say like Princess and the Frog was like my favorite of the newer stuff, a little more than Lilo and Stitch. And I'm bummed out that Princess and the Frog isn't getting a live action now because I think that movie kicks ass. I like the New Orleans of it all and the voodoo and stuff. But I heard that people are pissed about Lilo and Stitch because they changed the ending to completely abandon the message of the movie. What I've heard, hey, spoiler alert for Lilo and Stitch, y'all. You know, this is JoBlo, okay? I'm going to spoil Lilo and Stitch and I don't give a shit. Okay? This is JoBlo. And we can spoil Lilo and Stitch. Because, I mean, realistically, I hope none of you guys are going to leave this live stream over Lilo and Stitch spoilers. But apparently, like I said, I haven't even seen the movie. But apparently, the movie ends with, what's her name? The sister. Shawnee, something like that. Ani. Deciding to give Lilo over as property, or to the state. To give Lilo to the CPS people that are poking around in the movie. And I guess that, like, the idea of, Ohana means family, you know, and, like, family means nobody gets left behind. And then leaving behind the main character of the movie. I'll be honest. I don't know that much about this movie because I haven't seen it. But that sounds pretty dumb. It sounds dumb to remake a movie just to undo the whole point like of the thing, you know? And it seems like, I mean, typical Disney trying to skirt. They don't want to do anything that'll upset anyone. So instead they try to please everyone, which of course pisses off everyone. Hello. Here, let's get another pick me up. This one's for you guys. You know, my goal every time I play the Fletch theme song here, like I did just now, my goal is for this eventually to get stuck in some of your guys' heads. And throughout the week, you'll find yourself humming to yourself. And then you'll find yourself going, what the hell is that? What is that? And you won't get the answers until you tune in on a Thursday night and I play it again, thus scratching the itch you've had in your brain all week. And I'm trying to create some form of addiction where you associate a soundbite getting stuck in your head like this one. And I want you to associate that with this show, because this show is the only place you're going to hear that unless you watch Fletch, which if you had the chance, I would say you should also watch Fletch because that song is in it a lot. And it's just a really good movie. So, yeah, anyway, I guess all of that was I just exposed my evil plan to get you guys somehow some chemical in your brain that addicts you to my show. But, you know, if you're game, if you don't mind. All right, moving on from Karate Kid. What else we got? Oh, I thought this was good too. Okay, I wanted to talk to you guys about this. I'm going to keep this fairly short because I don't know shit about watches. But the company that makes the James Bond watch, okay, the Omega, it's one of the biggest watch companies ever. You've heard of them. There's like Rolex and there's Omega and Fossil. if you're like me and you're not rich. Well, supposedly they signed a watch deal to have a signature line of watches with Aaron Taylor Johnson. Not Taylor James Johnson, who does our what the fuck videos. But not our friend Taylor, but Aaron Taylor Johnson, our Hollywood friend. This is interesting just because of the rumors that supposedly Aaron Taylor Johnson has been in the running or considered to play Bond for years now. This rumor that he's playing Bond goes all the way back to like whenever Daniel Craig was announced that No Time to Die would be his last one, right? Ever since then, people have said Aaron Taylor Johnson should play Bond. Aaron Taylor Johnson should play Bond. Do I agree with this? I don't think Aaron Taylor Johnson should play James Bond. Personally, I don't care if they want to cast another like hot whatever, like hot white guy. That's fine. I don't care. They can do whatever they want. But I kind of like the idea that like if you're going to do another James Bond movie, cast a James Bond that doesn't resemble the previous James Bond. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that you have to do a color swap or anything. I'm just saying like cast somebody that's like not just another Daniel Craig type of like big hot guy, right? He just played Craven, like he's jacked. We don't need James Bond to be fucking jacked and muscular. It was kind of cool when Daniel Craig did it, but don't do it again. So that's what I'm saying. If anything, it's more body type. Let's get back to the slender James Bond, where like his wits and his spiness was the thing, not like his like gym regimen, I don't want like James Bond. He's doing this with a protein shake instead of a fucking martini, dude. This is James Bond with his protein shake instead of a martini now, dude, if it's Aaron Taylor Johnson. And that you can quote me on. That you can quote me on, dudes. But what we're trying to figure out anyway, what we want to know is this a clue that he is going to play the next James Bond? I don't know. Yeah, kind of. Yes, like to me, I would read that as like, that is weird. Because like, I don't know watches, but how often does Omega do brand deals with actors? I don't know, but it can't be like common. That would be crazy. You know, it's not like having your own sandwich at Subway. By the way, if somebody's going to comment, it's like having your own sandwich at Subway. It's not fucking like that. Okay. So I don't know. But I kind of wanted to use that as a platform to say, I don't really think Aaron Taylor Johnson is good for James Bond. I just don't want him. Nails says, hey, talk about that Jeffrey Dean Morgan headline. What Jeffrey Dean? What? Let me look it up. Have we, do we have one? Let's see if I can find it. I just watched a Jeffrey Dean Morgan movie last night. I watched that new movie with him and Jack Quaid, Neighborhood Watch. And it was a really fucking good movie, man. Oh, okay, this is from, 2 days ago? Jeffrey Dean Morgan says wife Harry Burton convinced him to host NBC's Destination X. Okay, you might have to help me out here. What headline are you talking about? I'm going to go back to the comments. The one below the article I had up. Oh, this one. Oh, of course. Jeffrey Dean Morgan confirms he was supposed to be. Oh, yeah, that's yeah, we knew that. I thought there was something new, and I was like worried. I was like, he either got canceled or he died. Like, what happened? Yeah, no, if it's this, yeah, we kind of knew that because he played in the flashback in BVS. He played Thomas Wayne, so it makes sense. He would have been he would have been great as a Thomas Wayne Batman. But I was watching, like I said, I was watching Neighborhood Watch, his new movie with Jack Quaid. Great movie, but he has slendered down so much. Is he okay? I remember, like, you know, because when I think of Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I think of like Negan, of course, from Walking Dead. I think of the comedian from Watchmen, you know, a bigger guy. Not big, but like strong, you know, and he looked tiny in this new movie. He was as skinny as Jack Quaid. It was fucking weird. Still looked good though. He's a handsome fellow. Yeah, it would be fun if one day they did let Jeffrey Dean Morgan do a Thomas Wayne Batman. But the thing is, if you're going to do that, it has to be in Flashpoint because that's where that happened. And I hope to God we don't get another Flashpoint movie for a very long time because I'm so tired of Flashpoint being the only Flash story that people think is worth telling. It was the whole crux of season 1 of the show. It was the sort of, I mean, it wasn't, but like it was like the events of Flashpoint. The motivation was the same, right? And then it was basically it was a reduxed version of the comic, but it was like an adaptation of Flashpoint, the movie, in the Flash movie. And that didn't go so well, and I think they did it poorly. I think if there ever were to be another Flash movie, it would be cool to just move on from Barry Allen and do a Wally West Flash, who I think is the better Flash. In the comics, like in general, I think Wally West is probably actually the more popular Flash. At least like when I'm reading Flash stuff, it's Wally West. It's usually not Barry Allen. And I think they should do that, dude. Just like move on from Barry Allen. You know, the show kind of got to do with the Barry Allen thing. The movie, you know, while I enjoyed aspects of it, because the Flash is like one of my favorite superheroes, you know, my favorite DC character for sure. And, but not Barry Allen. Wally West, the Flash, is my favorite DC character. So I would like to see a Wally West movie. How about that? Okay, for those of you that didn't know, Sinners is getting a digital release next week. That is a movie I am going to purchase so I can watch it again. I loved it. If you haven't seen it yet, please watch it. It's fucking good, man. Okay, and then this is another thing I kind of wanted to bring up before before we talk about SpiderMan. The new cast for Harry Potter. Here's a low-res image of what looks like the 3 chitlins that are set to play Hermione Granger, Harold Potter, and Ronald Weasley. It's funny. I don't know. I don't give a shit who plays the kids in Harry Potter now because I don't know that many kid actors. So, like, to me, they're all going to be no-name actors. And I feel that people are disappointed in this casting. Like, what did you expect? That they were going to get, like, who's a kid fucking celebrity that could play Harry Potter? Fuck you, there isn't one. So, it's, of course, going to be 3 no-names. Guess what? Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint and Emma Watson were all no-names when the movies came out. So, stuff it. All I'm trying to say is I am a big fan of the Harry Potter films, but I also have not even read all the books. I gave up on the books, 3 books. I loved Prisoner of Azkaban. I'm not saying that that's what made me stop reading them, but after I read Prisoner of Azkaban, that just happens to be the last one I read. And it also happens to be my favorite movie in the series. But then after that, I just stuck to the movies. I stopped reading the books. Prince Caspian says Sinners is one of my favorite movies this year. It is, I think, so far, probably my favorite movie this year. I really, really fucked with it. All right, but let's get to the big one, guys. Spider-Man and the Hulk. Okay, now this I want to dedicate the rest of the show to, because if this is true, this does significantly affect maybe my interest in this movie in some ways. Whether that's for better or worse, let's break it down so I can work out my own thoughts, and we'll take it from there. But before I do, let's get in the mood. That's X-Men. That was the X-Men. Because we're talking Marvel, baby. Just a Guy says, oh, hey, welcome back, Just a Guy. He says, read the books, they're worth it. Eventually, I probably will get to them. I'm on, right now, I'm on a reread journey. I'm reading All-Star Superman again, and I'm going to read Superman for All Seasons. Because those 2 books were kind of quoted as the reference points for the new movie. And I've already read All-Star Superman, and I remember that one making me pretty sad, so I'm kind of excited to, like, get back into that. Like, wholesome sad, like, in a good way. And then Superman for All Seasons, I think I maybe did read, but I really have no, like attachment in my memory to it, so I'm really excited to get into that one. It'll be like I'm reading it for the first time. Ray Ellenwood. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is on a reality show on Peacock called Destination X, where the contestants are flown all over the world. Oh, that would explain the headline about his wife convincing him to be the host. All right, let's move on. So, Spider-Man Brand New Day, which for those of you that don't know, this is the 4th Spider-Man movie in the Tom Holland MCU era, okay? A new rumor suggests that the Hulk could be a part of Tom Holland's upcoming film. How much of a part? We don't know! But let's find out, okay? This is kind of what gave it away. What's the director's name? Daniel Dustin Crichton, who is the director of Shang-Chi, is also the director of Spider-Man Brand New Day, this 4th movie. And he's exploring the next stage of this amazing character with a team of incredible artists of the world. How to swing, how to create an emotional story ride we haven't seen before. They tell me it's tradition to tell you something about the film that no one knows. We do have a trailer, even though we didn't... Well, we do have a trailer, even though we didn't share anything. That can't be in reference to... Oh, okay, maybe they mean like for the like an actual like physical trailer, not like a theatrical trailer. Anyway, this is so for those of you that didn't know, Destin Daniel Crichton is his name, or is it? Yeah, Destin Daniel Crichton is the director, and he directed Shang-Chi. He's been kind of doing press here and there now that he's announced as the director to this movie, and kind of not saying anything, but just kind of like beginning the process of Spidey hype. If you guys remember when No Way Home came out, the hype for that movie was absolutely like bonkers insane, because that was kind of like the big first time we were going to see like the big crossovers from multiple universes. It's funny because now we've seen that so many times, right? Like Multiverse of Madness, we saw Deadpool and Wolverine. There's just been like legacy cameos from like the other eras of Marvel, but that was kind of the first one. And the hype for that started on very early. And so now Destin Daniel Crichton, his new kind of like mission, right, is he's making this movie. Let's start getting the hype out there by just when you talk to people and they ask questions, give people little cryptic nuggets of things they can chew on, right? One of those things seems to be a rumor that Bruce Banner will return in Spider-Man, and that Mark Ruffalo has joined the cast. Okay, so obviously all it takes is for somebody to say something Mark Ruffalo, and now we know who he's playing because Mark Ruffalo plays the Hulk in the MCU. So here's what we know. Okay, to break this down. Sorry. My Billy Madison clip again. To break this down, what we know is supposedly Mark Ruffalo is going to be in this movie. And we also know that Sony's contract with Marvel, where they share the rights to Spider-Man in film, they require that an existing MCU Avenger be present in any Spider-Man movies. Right? So the kind of thing where they're like, yes, you can use Spider-Man in Civil War and you can use Spider-Man in Infinity War or Endgame or these movies, Civil War. You can use him in those movies, but when we make Spider-Man movies with the same actor, we need to be able to borrow one of your guys or one of your gals and put him in the movie to help brand synergy or whatever shit, you know, if they think it sells more tickets. Although I gotta say, this is why I wanted to say this affects my level of hype, because I almost think I would rather give my money to a Spider-Man movie that just has Spider-Man in it at this point. You know, maybe like I know we on this channel, many of you guys, I know we want to see a Daredevil and Spider-Man deal. I would like that. But like, I'm kind of ready for Spider-Man to just like, I just want to like solve a mystery at this point. Maybe not even have a fucking villain. I just want to see Spider-Man without someone smarter or more capable or more experienced than him to show him the ropes. I think Tom Holland as Spider-Man is done being a little fucking teenager. He's ready to be Spider-Man, you know? The Spider-Man. I like adolescent Spider-Man, but 3 movies of adolescent Spider-Man is all we needed. It even gave us the perfect ending in No Way Home with Aunt May dying, thus any ties to his happier youth are gone. Uncle Ben is gone. Aunt May is gone. His parents are gone. He's got to grow up now. Right? But we keep giving him other father figures. It was Tony Stark, then it was Doctor Strange, now it's Bruce Banner. It's a little bit soon for me to start judging, because for all I fucking know, it could be one scene where Bruce Banner is a professor at Peter's college, and I'm sitting here making a big fucking deal, right? So I've already said too much. I've already gone too far. But that's what I don't want. I don't want this to be Deadpool and Wolverine, but Spider-Man and the Hulk, right? I don't want that. I just want to see like Spider-Man fighting Tombstone, who we know is a villain in the movie. This is good. That indicates like Spider-Man, street level Spider-Man. Tombstone, he's a crime guy, you know, he's like a crime lord, like a gangster. Scorpion, same thing. You just get Michael Mando back, boom, you've got your street level Scorpion, you've got your street level Tombstone. Boomerang, obviously not a high regal villain, so street level as it gets. Then you put Spider-Man in there. It's perfect. But then you throw the Hulk in there and you're like, what are you doing? Unless the Hulk and Tombstone have like a really good fight, which would be awesome, the Hulk would beat the shit out of the Scorpion. Realistically, I don't even know. Like, if the Hulk was quick enough to just catch the Scorpion's stinger upon attack, he could probably just lasso him and throw him around, you know? Like he did with Loki in the Avengers. So it just kind of seems a little bit like, oh man, are we doing that? And are these villains now too low stakes if you're going to have Spider-Man and the Hulk? Because now you have these 2 giant, iconic characters, but one of them is like the Hulk, you know? Like these Tombstone and Scorpion and Boomerang are not a problem for the Hulk. So maybe I'm overreacting to the news that the Hulk and, you know, whatever. But very funny. The real Mr. Nixon said, who's Peter Parker? I like that. Because if you don't remember, at the end of the last movie, all of us forgot who Peter Parker was. So like in my opinion, if this is true, I don't want this to be the level of like, I don't want the Hulk to be a mentor. I wouldn't mind if Banner, like Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner is in the movie and he helps Peter develop a new web serum or develop a new, stun thing for his suit. Like, I wouldn't mind some science collaboration with the Hulk and Peter Parker or Bruce and Peter, but I just don't want to see this be like, here's Spider-Man and the Hulk taking on 3 Spider-Man villains, and the only reason the Hulk is here is because he has to be, and it's taking away from the time we could spend building up a better story with just Spider-Man. That's my fear. I do think it makes sense. I mean, like that it's Bruce Banner, other than the fact that they don't really know each other in any of the movies. You don't really see them interact, I don't think, at all. But it does make sense because, Peter's a scientist, Banner's a scientist, Tony Stark is gone. So, Peter will have been aware of Bruce Banner, probably also his work, and maybe has to turn to him for a science-y thing that Tony can't help with. It kind of makes sense. But if it becomes a big part of the movie where it's the Spider-Man and the Hulk movie, I don't know if I want that. I don't know. Like, I'll obviously probably still see it. I'm part of the fucking problem, dude. Listen to me. But I just don't know. Cowboy says maybe it's Banner's swan song. Do you think? Like, they wouldn't kill the Hulk in a Spider-Man movie, though. They definitely wouldn't. And he's got it. He's gonna be in the Avengers Doomsday, right? So I don't know. I mean, like, maybe since the Hulk can't get a solo movie, maybe he's just now the guy. If you need a character that's not busy, put the fucking Hulk in it, because he's not busy doing his own movie. And I don't mean Mark Ruffalo's not busy. I mean the Hulk in universe isn't busy because he can't go on adventures by himself. Yes, I agree, Bootzilla. Stop holding Peter's hand. He's a big boy. I like Teenage Spider-Man, but I'm done with it now. I've had it now. Like the 3 movies that we got from Tom Holland were that was kind of the Ultimate Spider-Man era. If you guys read the original Ultimate Spider-Man comic run, in the new Ultimate Spider-Man comics, he's older now. He's like my age and a lot more mature. But in the original, like, early 2000s Ultimate Spider-Man comic run, that's kind of what these movies felt like. And a little bit also of like Jack Kirby, the Steve Ditko kind of stuff. Like, it felt a little bit like, vintage teenage Spider-Man. But I'm ready for like the other lessons that Spider-Man learns, right? Because he's not just that. He's not just a teenage kid who gets powers and is like the runt of the Avengers. That's not all Spider-Man is. Spider-Man goes on to be a grown man who learns other life lessons after losing his uncle, in this case it'd be his aunt, but in the comics, his uncle. So, he goes on, he has kids in some continuities, like in the continuity right now, he does. So I think it's cool to like explore that. Tom Holland is almost 30. Let Spider-Man be, in his 20s. Let him learn other lessons that aren't how to grow up, because he's learned how to grow up. It would undermine everything he went through in the last movie to make this movie a movie where he once again slips up and has to learn a lesson that some other Avenger is going to help him learn or teach him. I don't want that anymore, man. We got 3 of those. Dude. He learned from Iron Man in the first one. He learned from Mysterio in the second one. He learned from Doctor Strange in the third one. He's grown now. He knows how to be a grown-up. He's learned it. His aunt died for it. So just let him be Spider-Man for a little while, please. Anyway, that's pretty much how I feel about that. I want it to be good. I love the Hulk. I fucking love the Hulk. I hate the MCU Hulk, though. I love Mark Ruffalo, but I think what they've done with the Hulk is criminal. Similar to what they did to Thor. It's just, fix it, man. Stop it. Fix it. Do it. Make it better. Anyway, more on this as it develops. We are going to talk more about that. Oh, look at, there's EJ. What up, EJ? That's a friend of mine. Yeah, more on this as it develops. This is one, as the Spider-Man hype train starts rolling, you can rely on me on the JoBlo Movie Show to fucking cover it. Even if it kills me, because some of this stuff is more stressful than anything. My fanboy brain wants to disassociate myself from caring this much. The older I get, the more I don't like caring this much. But the thing is, I still read these comics. So like I still care about these characters. They're fresh in my head. I'm still, I'm still kind of invested. So kind of sucks. And then to really end this out, guys, I guess we have time for one more small topic. And that is, I'm sorry to disappoint you, for anybody that this is going to be breaking news to, but Michael Bay says that he is not making a Skibbity Toilet movie. It was a joke, okay? Michael Bay was announced as the director of a Skibbity Toilet movie. I didn't know what the fuck that was. I had to ask my nephew, and then I learned. So Skibbity Toilet is it's like an internet thing. It's like heads coming out of toilets. Basically, that image is all I know. But my nephew said that's all you have to know. And supposedly Michael Bay was going to be making this movie. What the fuck, right? That sounded crazy.
Creeper. Oh, man.
Sorry, Cowboy, I saw a comment that Cowboy left that just said, aw, man. And I have a sound on my board that says, aw, man, and that's what it is.
Creeper. Oh, man.
So, yeah, I guess Michael Bay, legendary action filmmaker. Michael Bay has made some really great movies, obviously. Like, not every movie this guy makes is a meme. But, he made Ambulance, 3 years ago. Great movie. He made Bad Boys. He made The Rock. Those are 3 really good Michael Bay movies. There you go. All right, guys. So that's the news. That's what's going on this week. The big thing really was the Spider-Man Hulk stuff, just because I wanted to figure out what do I think of all of this, and the only way for me to ever really iron out my specific feelings on stuff like this is when I just talk about it with you guys, read your comments, and then take it all into consideration and formulate some sort of opinion of my own. So as of right now, I think my opinion is it's too soon to tell what's going on with this Spider-Man movie. If it does have the Hulk in it, I just pray it doesn't suck ass. Okay. And with that, I want you guys to have a great weekend. Let's go see Bring Her Back or Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. And let's leave at home The Karate Kid and Lilo and Stitch. I will see you guys next week.